Good afternoon, expats. It's your commish, Ronnie, and thank you for joining me today at Commish's Corner, where I recap last week's games. First off, you may have noticed this trophy here, Scout Pack 121, Pinewood Derby, first place, Bear Scout, winner. That's all I do is win, because I won this week's matchup against Breece Lightning, 180 to 173. Giving you the details from that matchup. Started off pretty even until I heard on the TV DK Metcalf going long for a 60-yard touchdown. I'm not going to lie, I was a little upset. And not 2 minutes later, it was Justin Jefferson with a 97-yard touchdown. And right after that, Chris Godwin. I was living it up 80-something points to 45. And just like that, the Breece Lightning fought back valiantly. Breece Hall, Neighbors, Derrick Henry, all went from, 5 points to 20-ish points, each one of them by the fourth quarter. And at one point, Frankie was even beating me going into the mid-afternoon games. He had a defense and tight end left against my running back and kicker. And got to give it to the MVP of the afternoon, James Conner, walking away with 20 points, bringing me up to 180. Frankie was down 9 points going into the last game, and D. Schultz dropped the bag, blew it, 3 points. Frankie loses, a close one, but he remains 0-2. Moving on to the Smackers versus Mosquitoes, and I swear, Corky, that might be the second worst name I've ever heard in my life. Ever. It is terrible. And I just have one word for this matchup, and that is Kamara, because he dropped the 50-burger on Corky, and he never had a shot. I do, want to take this moment of silence for Tua, who is going to be contemplating retirement after another concussion. So just moving on to our next matchup. Off to Your Mom beat the South Park Owls, and I got to tell you, that is not as funny saying it in reverse. But Jack, congrats on your victory. Could be your, I'm not sure, but it might even be your first fantasy football victory of your entire life. So again, congrats on that. I want to say that Collins' team didn't play terribly, but when you're up against, Cook dropping 33 points on you the first night of the game slate, and then your defense having 50 points scored on it, that doesn't help. I believe Dallas Cowboys were negative points going into that fourth quarter, and miraculously they turned positive. So really wasn't your fault on that one. Last but not least, we had the Bastards versus Barretts, and again, A-Train coming through for Barretts, dropping 30 points off Thursday Night Football, and Chris's team just never really recovered. It doesn't help, too, when your first two round draft picks only put up 17 points. So, let me see. That seems to be all that I got in terms of recap. I just want to shout out Chris. It's not your fault that, your team is full of injuries. Well, actually, it is your fault. You suck. You drafted them. It is your fault. So, other than that, there were quite a couple of pickups as well coming off the waiver wire this afternoon. And, I do want to, unfortunately, give props to the Barretts, because again they picked up a nice RB in Allen, and they beat me in the bidding for Shaheed Rahad. I don't know how you say his name. So now on to my predictions for this week. I versus the Smackers, and I got to tell you, Kamara's not throwing up 50 again, so that's going to be an easy victory for the Southside Huskies. I do believe that Frankie gets his first victory of the year and crushes Corky's terribly named team. I just don't see Derek Carr, performing as well. He's got to stop at some point because he's not that good, just like Corky's team. Then we will have, I think, Jack, unfortunately, will the joke will resume next week because I think Ian's got his number. And then, yeah, I think South Park Cows will come away with their first win as well because Chris's team is beat up. So maybe the trade will help him. Maybe it won't. Probably won't. His team sucks. I just don't know what he's going to do moving forward. And that is it for your Commissions Roundup. Tune in next week where I go over that week's games as well. Good night.